Welcome to the AA Sports Podcast, minor league feel with major league discussion. Here are your hosts, Alan and Alan.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the AA Sports Podcast. We are your hosts, Alan and Alan. Welcome to episode 18.
18.
So, what's been up, man? Not much.
Not a whole lot, man. Not this week.
This weather sucks.
Yeah, man. Over the weekend, just fixing these holes in the backyard after we tore them trees down and took up some of the fence. But other than that,
Yeah, I
been
hear
pretty slow.
Yeah, and my first day back at work today.
Hey, how'd that go?
It's going to be a lot of work this week. Next 2 days before I'm supposed to open on Friday.
Man, that's crazy.
A lot of cleaning and getting everything ordered, organized.
Right, crazy they're throwing you right into the mix of it because the biggest weekend is after Memorial Day, and that's coming up this week.
It's a weekend, then we go like a couple slow weeks, but it's to go only. We can't have no one in the dining room yet. So it's going to be interesting.
That's not terrible. If they got room service or something,
we don't do room service.
Well, they can still
they just come down, grab it, and go. So
not a big issue.
It's just getting everything in, doing a different menu. So
okay.
But let's talk some baseball.
Let's do it.
So first thing first, it just came across the Washington Nationals, defending World Series champions, are going to do a ring ceremony virtually.
Wow. So how is this supposed to work?
I guess they're shipping all the rings to them, so probably with a sign that says, like, don't open. And
yeah, right.
It's going to be Sunday, because they said they're going to do no celebrating until they allow fans, but...
I'm telling you right now, if a ring shows up at my door, I'm opening it. There's no way I'm not.
What's this package?
Yeah, I'm going to be rocking it. Instagram Live. Check it out, guys.
See this big old box like, ooh, I'm about supposed to open this.
Exactly. Well,
So sometime we'll probably talk about next week what the ring looks like, because it's their first title.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what the owners, did they go all out? How many diamonds? The carat count?
They should.
We'll see exactly what they put together, because the last couple of years of rings have been pretty good. So for your first, people usually sometimes go all out.
Well, that's cool. I mean, as much as I don't like watching the Nationals win, I don't hate them. It's not like the Phillies I'm watching. I like the players. I like Zimmerman. I like the young guys. It's Trey Turner and all the guys like that. But one guy I didn't like isn't getting a ring.
Who's that?
Bryce Harper. He made the big move on the offseason, and I guess it cost him a championship. Those aren't easy to come by the way.
No.
So he might never get one. That's a big thing.
And it could have been his fault. It could have been ownership fault. We don't know. He's claimed it wasn't his fault. He wanted to come back, but...
Well, based on what you told me, he claimed that he wanted to do a scenario where it was like a different situation.
Yeah, so apparently during the season, there was talks of him being traded. He said, trade me, because his intention was still to come back. He wanted to do a Chapman situation with the Yankees. When Chapman got traded to the Cubs, they got a high prospect, Gleyber Torres, which we all know who he is now with the Yankees.
Yeah.
And then Chapman, of course, came back the offseason and re-signed with the Yankees. So if his intent, why wouldn't you do that? Because you could have got like two prospects.
I don't know, man. I feel like the team has already been contending. So what did he think was going to happen? We're just going to take a break while we're already in the mode of trying to win a World Series?
His thing was they are pretty much already out that year.
He thought that was the last
pretty
year.
much they're out.
Well, the reason we thought they're out is because everybody thought he was going to leave or get traded.
Like they were, I think that was the time when they were in third or fourth place, and they were like, what are you going to do with me? Like, why wouldn't you? But, hey.
So, ring ceremony. So, when you say virtual, is this going to be televised on Masson, or what's going to happen?
I don't know. Like, there's really
Is ESPN going to show this? Because I haven't heard anything about it.
It's got to be on Masson. Like, why would you show it?
But that's just for the locals. When people have a ring ceremony and they're paying these top dollars for these big rings, they want everybody to see it.
Yeah, because it was going to be originally when the original schedule, because I remember looking at the game, the ring ceremony was going to be that Saturday game. It was just going to be that Thursday opening day was going to be the banner.
Okay.
The ring ceremony Saturday, because that's when the 7 line was going to go to DC. I'm like, why are tickets so expensive this year? And then I was like, oh, they're doing the rings that day. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to that. I'm like, if that's the case.
I had a notification come across my phone the other day. Were they supposed to have the 7 line game this past weekend on the 16th?
Maybe.
For some reason I had 7 line game written down. I wonder if they were supposed to be in DC.
There's a good chance. So let's see. We're going to the article real quick. But, they wanted to hold out as much as possible, but they probably have these rings sitting there. Like, this was supposed to be back in, what now? But, yeah, beginning of April.
Yeah.
Because their opening day was in New York, and then the following week was in D.C. So, yeah, it was going to be the first part of April. So, they've had the rings, so I guess they decided.
I'm just wondering what they're going to do. Is it going to be like the NFL draft where people are going to have like cameras set up inside their living rooms and like, oh, look at the rings?
Because usually they announce them
It's
like
gonna be a
walking by, they shake the owner's hand, they hand them the box.
Oh, this would be okay. I got a couple of great ideas so far. First great idea, they do it like a big Zoom meeting.
They have to.
Second great idea, they do it like the guy's going to be passing the rings around to everybody through the screen, and the next guy's going to take it. Look at my ring, and
Oh my god! But my phone's not working.
Maybe they'll just have their avatars sitting up there saying, "Look at my ring."
Maybe the presidents are deliver the rings.
Oh, that would be dope. Social distancing, so I don't know how that'll work, but
yeah. So, but we'll see how that goes. We can talk about it. Next. It's kind of weird to talk about LeBron James here on the baseball part.
Yeah, what's even more weird to talk about LeBron James is that LeBron James is, I don't know if this is part of the same thing, but he's teaming up with Adam Sandler on a project.
Yeah, we all knew when LeBron went to LA, he was thinking about post-career.
Yeah.
So he's had so many different companies, businesses, and of course, one of his big businesses is Clutch Sports. But he also has a company called Why am I can't talk today? Uninterrupted.
Uninterrupted. Sounds like it should have been taken.
It's a film, company. They're set to produce a baseball documentary on the Astros sign stealing scandal.
Yes.
So ultimately, it's a documentary that's going to transcend baseball diamond to explore the larger themes of greed, cheating, corruption, sportsmanship, and social media activation, said their main guy there at the press release.
Okay. So
this is the same company who did the Hulu's Firefly documentary.
Huh.
So they're going to take the helm. Alex Cora, bench coach at the time. The general manager, Jeff Luro, were both suspended. They, of course, did win the World Series that year, so it's going to be interesting to see what comes of this documentary.
Right. It's funny you say Hulu because, I'd figure if you're with Hulu, you're doing stuff with Hulu exclusively. But the thing with Adam Sandler has been with Netflix for quite a while now. And it looks like, yes, LeBron James is going to produce a movie starring Adam Sandler called Hustle. Can't wait for that. That actually sounds like it should be something pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know if Adam Sandler has the itch from doing the Gems movie, because with the Kevin Garnett, basketball kind of related.
I bet he does.
So it's interesting. But the funny thing is when this got announced today, they lost one of their biggest baseball clients with Clutch Sports.
Exactly. So, so when the news came out that LeBron was going to do the documentary about the sign stealing scandal, Alex Bregman, who was part of Clutch, decided he's going to leave Clutch days after the sign stealing document was announced.
It's... did you not think this through, that one of your stars is in the middle of this? Did you not contact them and see what his point of view, or
maybe he did? Maybe he had said, "I don't want you to do this," and then LeBron's like, "Look, man, this is big news. I'm going to do it."
Everyone wants to see it. Everyone wants the details.
Yeah, I would watch that. Yeah. Absolutely, I would watch that. If you're talking about the whole year, if you can get a documentary about what happened and all the players that are involved, everything with Altuve through Carlos Beltran and Bregman, we all think one thing and then it ends up something else, and they win a World Series because of it. This is huge. This is document worthy.
Yeah.
And if Alex Bregman cannot see that, then he needs to grow up. Somebody's going to do it.
LeBron James camp is not only a great representation for your athlete, but with LeBron James doing all this thing, there's other companies, he can get you involved in other stuff after baseball.
Right. And what my biggest thing is with Alex Bregman is, you know what? I don't think LeBron's coming out to hurt your name or your whatever you want him to, the things going on. He's going to come out and try to give out facts, I hope.
Yeah.
And it's a factual based thing. You shouldn't have any ill will towards it, because it's
like you said, you apologize. We did this. Why don't you explain what exactly happened to make yourself look a little better if you didn't really evolve that much?
That's right, because he can't make himself look better because they're all scum.
So it just looks pretty guilty by doing that.
Look, we lost a lot of respect for these guys, and he's not helping his case by leaving Clutch after this was announced.
Yeah. So what next is your favorite recent Met.
Yes.
Big Sexy.
Bartolo Colon. He wants to come out of retirement. The dude's 46 years old. He didn't pitch at all last year. He might have pitched a little the year before that. I'm not sure. But he wants to pitch in the major leagues again this season. He wants at least one more season. He would prefer, he'd play for any team, he says. Any team he'll be willing to play for, but he wants to play as a Met. He loved the chemistry the guys had. He loved the fans. He loved the way he was treated. He wants to retire as a Met.
Yeah. He wants to, he doesn't want his last game being the .2 inning and with the Texas Rangers in September of 2018. But, it's up to me. He retired a Met. He said he loved his career to end in New York. It's kind of nice to hear, like you said, like being the guy he's been through almost many teams.
Right. It's crazy. He's been through like 10 teams, right? Or more maybe, 10 teams. And he likes the Mets out of all of them, which is crazy because he was at the end of his career. He did pitch great when he was with the Mets. And the fans loved him. It's crazy because, we didn't care about the steroids. We didn't care about whatever happened in his career. Everybody saw Bartolo, and he's a hero in New York.
Yeah. Like you said, the Mets team was something special. I played for 10 teams, but the Mets, all the way from the players that treated me, how the entire franchise treated me, from the front office to the kitchen staff, it was amazing. And Mets fans are the best. In the beginning, when they laughed at me every time my helmet flew off, at first it felt uncomfortable, but when I saw
to get a bigger helmet.
how much Mets fans enjoyed it, I asked for a bigger batting helmet so it can fall off even more because it made him happy.
Right. So, and we all love his chill demeanor. I mean, I just don't know if there's a place for him on our team. That's my biggest thing.
So my thing is, as a good possibility, say we get the season started and we do a 6-man rotation. He could be that sixth.
I'm not putting him
inning eaters.
I'm not putting him in there as a starter. He's going to come. He's going to be the short relief after you just saw 100 mile per hour. Now you're going to get 84 with control all around you,
which I'm perfectly fine with because during that playoff run, he did great out of the bullpen.
Right, but at his age, there's no way I'm starting him, Alan. I'm going to have this guy. He's going to be
starter.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's going to go solid 2 innings every now and then, if that. I don't know, but if my thing is, I don't know if we have a spot for him, and if I'm bringing back somebody who's about 50 years old, I'm looking at Ichiro over him. You know what I'm saying? I know we need some pitching, but if Bartolo, I see him on Instagram, he's over there, striking out little kids. He's striking out like 18-year-olds. I don't know what's going on. But he's still got the itch. He loves the game. I would be perfectly happy with bringing him on as a coach or something like that. I don't know what he's got. I'd like to see him play, maybe.
Hell, sign him to a 10-day contract, let him pitch like one more game, and let him retire as a Met, if anything, if he wants to do that.
But that's what I'm saying, because when he left New York, his numbers left with him.
Yeah.
So. Which is weird, because usually people come to our team and they do terrible. It's quite the opposite.
I remember when we first signed, it was like, what was it, 2-year, $20 million, the first contract. I'm like,
we weren't mad at it though.
I was like, it's a lot of money for an older player. Let's see what he can do.
But we weren't that upset.
No, especially because the year he came off, he went to the All-Star game, and now I'm like, well, he had a great year. So let's hope for the best with us, and
exactly.
And he actually showed up. So the next thing is the very hot topic.
All right, what's next?
Very hot topic. The comments that Blake Snell made about taking a pay cut.
Okay, well, let's get into it. Yeah, Blake Snell, I mean, he has a point. So Blake Snell does not like the idea of splitting the profits 50-50 with the owners. He thinks that, look, he's out there putting his life on the line.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big deal. I mean, he doesn't want to take a pay cut. So what do you think?
So let's go and say what he said on Twitch. Y'all got to understand, man, for me to take a pay cut, it's not happening because the risk is through the roof. It's a shorter season, less play. I got to get my money. I'm not playing unless I get mine, okay? And that's just the way it is for me. Like, I'm sorry you guys think differently, but the risk is way hell higher, and the amount of money I'm making is way lower. Why would I think about doing that? Like, I'm just sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the only one to have concerns either. Yeah. Bryce Harper backed him up, said he's not going to play. He doesn't want to take a pay cut either.
Yeah, like they are agreed upon right after this end about taking a cut
based
game.
Based on the games.
I understand when you break out the fans, I don't think MLB thought it all the way through before this deal they agreed to.
They shouldn't have put it together. They should have
until they figured more out. Like if they were going to start the season sooner, like okay, yes, we're losing money from fans not being there at first, but we'll get the fans back maybe the second half or recoup some money. Okay.
Well, they shouldn't have made a big deal like that. They should have tentatively said this is what's going to happen until these things occur.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have made this is it, sign the line. I don't know, man. That's bad on both sides.
Like the biggest thing, like you said last week, is the 50-50 split because baseball is the only out of the major does not have a salary cap. because it fluctuates anywhere from 50 to highest has been recently is 53. Of course, that's when a full season, all ticket sales and everything. So, of course, the money's way higher, but we're talking no fans, no concessions, souvenirs, all that.
Okay.
So you're talking like the reported number is 40% of what they brought in. If they brought 11 billion last year, 40%, that's a big number. And then you got taken it's half season, man.
Right. Like you said, I mean, they've already agreed to a pay cut. Now you're throwing something up there that we have no idea what will look like at the end of the season. So that they don't like the uncertainty. I agree. And they've never
And I think Blake Snell was supposed to make $7 million this year because, of course, he's still in his rookie term deals. So I think his arbitration, what they agreed upon, was $7 million. So if he's getting half that, it's 3.5. Then you got to think of taxes. So if anything, he might barely get in just over $1 million if he played half season as of right now with just the games being limited to 50%.
Yeah.
So, it's hard.
Right. And like I said, the biggest factor of it is, I mean, I know the money, like I said, if you're trying to throw out there uncertainty with the money, that's an issue in itself. Not only that, you're not the ones taking the risk. The players are. And if all these players are voicing their concerns about their risk and then, they might infect their family or if somebody who shows or who tests positive gets quarantined, that doesn't mean a lot because that doesn't mean everybody's getting tested. They're only getting tested if they show symptoms or something like that. So somebody else could be infected. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to figure out.
Yeah, especially with the people who have families and stuff, you got to think about, do I need to rent a separate apartment if we play baseball?
Exactly.
Like, we'll talk about it here in a little later, like the restrictions like MLB has said with the plan. But if you think about it, like, I don't want to be around my little kids just in case I get it, isolation, I might just get an apartment for the next couple months.
And if they're testing just the players, they're not testing their families.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole separate issue.
And then it's just the fear and, like, when is it safe? Like, you just got to think it's a weird times right now. So we'll see what happens, but it's a lot.
So my big thing is something going to happen?
Yeah.
We're getting deeper into it. You and I discussed on the last episode, or maybe even episode before that, they need to be starting now.
If they want to start by
July,
they have to come to an agreement by a date that ends in May. It's got to be May something to have a deal done, to have a spring training done, to start in the middle of June, to give you 2 weeks.
Didn't they say they needed 5?
I don't know.
I'm just saying, look, man, we're about to hit Memorial Day weekend, and then the week after that, and then we're in June already.
Exactly.
They need to get the ball rolling.
With the next week and a half, they have to have it done.
But from what we're hearing, they're not even close to a deal right now. The players are up in arms. The owners don't know what to do. Who's making these decisions and how we're going to get it done? It feels like it's going to take a lot longer than a week or two.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Like, still in the report today is some owners want the postseason to end in October. They don't want it to end in November. It's like, well, you need to get a deal done sooner then, or we're going to keep having less and less and less games.
Okay. Well, speaking about how the season's going to look, let's move on to our next topic. Bryce Harper, he has an idea of what the Major League Baseball should do this season and how it should play out.
So after commenting, supporting Blake Snell, he went on Instagram. I shared it on an Instagram page what he said, and it's kind of interesting and might have some fun with it.
It is a little interesting. Let's go through it. Do we have it written down?
Yep.
All right, let's talk about this. So
All
Bryce
right.
Harper's idea of what the Major League Baseball season should look like this year.
All right. An Instagram post, Harper idea involves like an NBA-like split, East versus West leagues, to replace the American National League, to have a 135-game regular season from July 1st to November 15th. So once the season ends, it would be a 10-team round-robin playoff held in a single location leading up to the World Series. The 10 teams round-robin format like College World Series will be at the new Texas Stadium or whatever stadium or stadiums that are best 3-game series. You win the series, you move on. You lose, you get to play the other loser in a 1-game wild card. Winner of that moves on. The other team is out. You can play in like Vegas, have the strip hotels, can use the hotels for all the guys, contain possible. So the 2 teams less play a 7-game World Series. Then you get 2 days off before the series. And those 2 days off can be a All-Star game and a home run derby, and could even do an MLB awards as well at the time. And then in order to do the 135 game, he noted that we would have a 7-inning doubleheader on Sundays, with every other Monday being used as an off day for all 30 teams. Roster would increased from 26 to 30 players, that team will be allowed to have a 6-man rotation if the pitchers want to do it that way.
Now, my thing is, where in the world did he come up with this idea? Like, he must have really been bored because he was thinking, like what could we actually do?
Like, he broke it down. Like, when I first read it that morning, I think it was Saturday morning or something, and I was like, wow, I'm like, whoa, he went to, like, details with this.
All right, so let's talk about it. East versus West, like the NBA. All right, so we got July, August, September, October, and November is when he thinks the game should be played. 135, that's closer to the 162, so I'm happy with that. We are playing later into the year, though, which is getting colder. I don't know how that'll work at most stadiums, but if they bring them into the indoors or depending on the weather where they play, I don't know. It could work. But what do you think? 30 players, 6-man rotation. I'm not sure. DH on both sides has to be a must. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. Yeah. So that has to happen.
And I think 30-man roster is going to have to happen even with the thought of the 80-game season, because how fast to do a spring training to start up, you're going to need that many extra pitchers.
Yeah, especially with the injuries that you're not going to be aware about, or things are going to pop up for guys who haven't been playing in a little bit.
But the 30-man rotation works. I mean, roster, because especially if you do a doubleheader on Sunday like he suggested, then you have the pitching, you have the extra players that can sub for the older players who don't want to do doubleheader. You can vice versa, whatever. But I kind of like it, especially it's different because it's a weird year.
It's a weird
time, and to have a college World Series kind of round robin to expand the playoffs. I kind of like it.
So the other thing I do like about this right now is that he says on all platforms, no blackouts. They absolutely must do this for revenue purposes.
Yes.
If everybody should have access to any game they want to because they need the viewership with a half season.
Yes.
The other thing, the 2-week World Series, like a Super Bowl week. Okay, that's fine. But prior to that, we're talking about a 10-team round robin, like you said, college style. I like this. I actually like it because I like the fact that he's talking about wild card teams playing each other and then the winner advancing to play another.
So everyone plays. Whoever wins that first game moves on. All the losers got to play each other.
Exactly.
Loser goes home. Winner advances.
So it's a double elimination.
Yes.
I love it. I like it, man. It brings you back to the Little League World Series type of style format, back to those kind of things. You get an extra chance, and then you got to take full advantage of it. Yeah. In this situation, I actually like this idea.
And it's different, and we need different in this age. Like, if this is going to fix, like, thinking about bigger playoff games, longer postseason, so the ad revenue can be created. You have more games, so there's more sponsorship deals and stuff, so you can recoup your money. And maybe with this so many games, eventually, say, come August, September, you can have fans at your stadium, maybe 50%, whatever it is then. But hell, since there's more games, you can have more fans there and make more money.
Agreed. But let's go back to the playoffs again. So just think about this. I know we're going pretty quickly, but if you have 2 playoff teams playing each other, and we're doing a best of 3-game series, so you're playing a whole series. You're playing 3 games. If you lose 2 games, you get to play a 1-game wild card game. Yeah. That's pretty crazy because that's unheard of. It's like, oh man, we just lost a series. In the past, they don't even have series. Like a wild card game is one game play and you're out.
One mess up, like we said last year with the Washington Nationals. But if it wasn't for one play, they could have lost.
Absolutely.
This is where, like, okay, we messed up. Let's rebound. Okay, we didn't win the second game or barely win. Like, okay, we can redeem ourselves.
And you get a second chance.
Yes.
But that's what makes it even more interesting because guess what? The two losers who are playing each other in this wild card game is going to be a very highly watched game because it's never happened before. You got 2 teams that just got beaten in a series and they really want to stay in the playoffs. So guess what? They're bringing their best versus their best like haven't seen before because it's do or die now.
Yeah.
It truly is play big, go home.
And the interesting thing, depending on what teams play what, you might be seeing their 3rd-man rotation, 4th-man rotation.
Short rest, no rest. They're going to bring guys out. There's going to be all starters out there in the bullpens because you got to win this game or you're going home. Mm-hmm. But the crazy part is you got 2 losers still in it to win it.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to win that game who already lost the series, and they're going to try again. And when they come back again, you got to imagine they got a whole new game plan.
And with this, you're talking easily the World Series probably in December.
Yeah. Well, I told you I'm okay with that. You said you're like, I don't know about it.
It'll be early December, but if you think in 2 weeks to get the round robin and then you have a couple days off to do a all-star game-ish, Pro Bowl, whatever you want to call it, kind of game.
Right. And it's not
Miami, Texas, anywhere warm. Why not?
And it's pretty cool because so they have the weirdness going on in the beginning of the playoff series format, but then when you get to the World Series, it's traditional. You got the 7-game lock series. Your best, our best. Let's do this, and you're going to find out who the better team is in 7 games. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then he even went into details that because if this is going to December, he said next season we push the season back to May, and then the following season back to April, and then within 3 years we're back to normal. Starting in end of March, early April.
It's not a terrible idea. It's better than some of the other ones I've heard.
Yeah.
It's actually one that gets me excited. So
it does. Like we said, it's a different time, different year, different the weirdness that we are. Why not be different?
And what I really like about this, I know it's just because we're in a short season and it's just chaos everywhere, but I like the fact that they're treating the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby at the end of the season like the NFL does, but nobody watches the NFL because they're just two-hand touch. But this, everybody can play hard because they don't have to worry about a second half. They can go out there and swing and not worry about ruining their swing at the end of the season.
Exactly.
So you're going to have guys who normally aren't going to participate in a Home Run Derby say, yeah, why not? It's a celebration.
Yeah, like I said, you can do the Home Run Derby, awards, and the All-Star game that 2 days. Like the first day can be the end-of-year awards and Home Run Derby. And the next day do All-Star game, and then you go first game of the World Series.
Right, and you thought World Series tickets were expensive before. If you throw the World Series and the All-Star game activities and the Home Run Derby all in the same area, same week, oh my gosh, you're talking huge numbers. You're talking
numbers.
The secondhand resale value is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, so
I like it. I mean, I'm definitely open to it. I would love to see it play out this way just to see how it works out. But either way, the only thing we can all agree on is we need to find some kind of plan to move forward with this season.
Definitely. So we'll see if baseball and the players have any talk agreements coming up very soon. All right. So next thing we have on our list to talk about is that the MLB has kind of got some details for the testing that's going to happen if there is a season. Apparently, ESPN Jeff Pazin kind of got a draft of the health concerns and testing plan. Apparently, it's like a 64-page document.
Okay.
So apparently that's what took so long to get base MLB to give the deal to the Players Association because they wanted everything to be detailed. Instead of being like, okay, we're going to do this, or what about this? And like, oh, we'll figure it out. They got every details in line before they turn it over. So some of the things that got very interesting and is going to be, attained. The plan outlines testing, travel plans, limitations at in-stadium activities such as discouraging players from showering at the stadium,
right,
and using rideshare apps during road trips.
Yep. No spitting on the field.
There's like no spitting, no
hugs, no high fives, nothing.
They're going to be separated in the dugout, and they might have to even sit in the stands if there's that many people on the bench. And there's can't go out when you're on the road. You can't go to restaurants.
Oh man, how are they going to eat?
It's so. And the biggest thing, if it comes let's see. Okay, so if you have contact that may not have been exposed, obviously removing those individual that has a positive test, they'll be quarantined till there's 2 negative tests in 24 hours. So apparently they have a facility set up, ready to go. They went into very, very details. And if you think you get contacted, they're going to test you. That has a quick turnaround. And
yeah, I mean, anybody who has a body temperature over 100 or higher is going to be put in isolation. Only players and coaches will sit in the dugout.
So teams on the road, they weren't allowed to leave their hotels to eat at restaurants. Players and personnel in the top 2 tiers would be discouraged from going to crowded bars, even in their home cities. It's very detailed, and apparently a lot of players didn't like the fact about not being able to shower after the game. Like they're going to get dirty, be filthy, put on their clothes, and then go back to the hotel if they're on the way.
I agree, man.
Yeah, so apparently that's going to be changed. A couple things in that I guess players don't like either.
I just don't see this working out, especially with the no spitting. I mean, because we all know the big boys, they dip and spit, and they got sunflower seeds. It's just part of the game. I just don't know how they're going to eliminate that from these guys. Maybe everybody gets to carry a bottle around with them to spit in. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's just a just in case, just work the details and they can figure it out, negotiate. But
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if they do these things, if you see a player spit, if you see them hugging or high-fiving, how are they going to regulate? Are they going to get fined like in the NBA? What's going to happen? Or the NFL? You know, NFL likes to fine
someone
everybody.
hits a walk-off, you can't go like high-five them.
You can't dogpile.
Celebrate
What are you
them.
supposed to do? Golf claps? Yeah. I
think the weirdest thing is like if you watch NASCAR this weekend when Kevin Harvick celebrated, he can't celebrate with his team. It was just him in victory lane getting his trophy, taking pictures, and that's
milk
it.
Or something?
And leave.
Milk or Mountain Dew or something? Whatever.
Yeah, he really didn't do nothing. It's like
that sucks.
It does, like especially when, like you said, like if you walk off winning the race. It's just stuff like that. It's like, man, you can't celebrate. We're in weird times, but so.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So, and then the last topic we have is how, the 50-50 split and stuff like that. Apparently, MLB is projecting to lose $640,000 per game without fans.
Okay.
I think that number's low.
I do too. And like I told you earlier, I saw an article that ESPN had where some guy named Patrick Reish, he's the director of sports business program at Washington University in St. Louis. He estimates that the MLB is losing $75 million per day. That's a pretty good amount of money.
How I broke it down, I remember they made almost $11 billion last year.
Okay.
If people are saying 40% is from fans going to games, well, if you do that math, you're talking $4 billion if it's a full season. And if you break it down like that, you're talking $27 million a day if there's 15 games going on. So if you break it down that's a lot of money compared to they're saying 600. But apparently the figures calculated by MLB and its clubs is that 39% is local gates as tickets.
Okay.
Followed by 25% central revenue, 22% local media, 11% sponsors, and 4% other. So all that includes players of the game, I guess, because sponsors at the stadium, the Pepsi corner, the Coca-Cola corner, like at City. Sure. Oh well, fans not going to see it, so we're not going to pay for that sponsor.
I agree.
I guess that's kind of where, but if details who pays the $37 million Fox pays, $310 million Turner pays, $27 million by ESPN, $30 million by MLB Network, and $50 million by International and other. Like, sorry, owners, you were trying to get up with the big dogs. Like NBA is climbing, is way ahead of you, and you were making $11 million last year. Like you thought you can try to get $15 million next $15 billion. This is going to slow them down, especially if there's no season.
Right, and I mean, like you said, $640 per game or $75 million a day. No matter how you cut it, it's a lot of money they're losing. Which is also another reason they're having concerns over agreeing to a 50-50 split.
Yeah. And the biggest thing I think is revenue. If there's a season, they need to fix this right away. I don't care if it's this season, just this season, it needs to be going forward, is the blackouts like we talked.
Absolutely. Yeah, they got to take care of that regardless of what's going on.
It was mad. Like, it pissed us off that we have to watch national broadcast when the Mets play Nationals.
Right.
But when I understand that if you're in California trying to watch your team, you can't watch it like a lot of your teams in California because there's so many teams in Southern California. Like Vegas, you can't watch the Dodgers because it's in that area. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Right. And also, like you said, a lot of people, let's get, for example, if we're watching the Nationals play here, and let's say that you're a cable cutter and you only have internet. Well, you can't even watch your team because of blackout restrictions because they're showing it on local TV. So, like I said, they just need to go ahead and get rid of that and let everybody watch. I mean, we're in the 21st century. Come on, guys. Let them watch whatever they want.
Yeah.
I don't think there's blackout restrictions in NFL games. They got the red zone. They got this and that. I mean, I don't know.
Only one is like if I switch and if I have the DirecTV NFL package, if I'm switching to games and it's the Redskins because it is local, that's only one. Because makes you go to Fox to watch it instead of like all the other channels. But you can still find it, but then I don't know how the app works.
Then all of the major league sports teams and sports people they just need to go ahead and stop the blackout restrictions in general.
I think they're going to have to because, like I said, like if they, especially baseball, if they want the younger crowd to come back to baseball, watch. A lot of people are cutting the cord, like you said. I did it. I only have cable. I only have internet. I don't have cable no more to watch ESPN and stuff. I have my parents log in so I can watch The Last Dance and stuff. But you can watch somewhat live, but that's the only thing I thought about getting cable before, because I'm like, I need to watch sports because there wasn't there yet. Now there's getting more and more availability to watch live sports, but baseball was ahead of time to get in the MLB app, be able to purchase so you can watch on your phone on to go, but the blackouts is still restricting them.
All right.
So by fixing that, they can maybe get some revenue, but who knows what they'll agree upon. You know, like we said, they have 2 weeks max if they want to start in July, if that.
And even so, it's not looking like it's going to be a positive outcome. So we're crossing our fingers. Hope we'll get some baseball this season. But at the end of the day, I'm not holding my breath too hard right now, because
at least we have the KBO for now.
Yeah.
So
all right,
guys. It's a little short week this week. There's not much news. Like we're really hoping that there was a deal going to be done. We can talk about it. What's the game plan? But like you said, we have no deal. So we'll see y'all next time. Please like, share, and subscribe our channel. Follow us on our platforms, Instagram, Twitter.
All right, guys.
See y'all next time. All right, guys. Thank you for checking out this episode. Please share us if you enjoyed this content. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at AA Sports Podcast. Catch y'all next week. Peace.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. That's right. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. That's right. For the record, lab on me going all the way. All the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. Stop. For the record, 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 for the record. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price on y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. A6 all the hate. I won't get a ball today. Got lost in the ball and A's.